Okay, everyone, it's your boy n.g.k GasBikes, and just want to drop my little 2 cents in. Everyone has their little video, so anyway, I came across this a few months ago, back in June. It's now September, and a few little things. I mean, it works great. Most of the information you find on the internet is just about accurate. A few things you might want to take heed to. Of course, I did on some and realized that I should have went that way. But anyway, it's all about how you take to it and what you want to get out of it. As you can see, I got mine on a mountain bike because that's what I had available. These things fit on, of course, cruisers, road bikes, beach cruisers, whatever you want to call them, the best. But hey, where there's a will, there's a way. Especially with a few assistants out there with like sickbikeparts.com. Of course, you hear that a lot of places. But anyway, went right on. I actually got two, and a few parts that came with that one fitted on there, and some parts that came with that one fitted on that one. So like the muffler, that muffler came with this engine. That muffler on this bike here came with that engine, as well as the handles, throttle. Of course you can't see the ones in there, but they're the ones you'll see everywhere. The hard plastic with the cheap plastic silver tips, and all of that throttle casing with the kill switch is all cheap. Actually, I'll show you. I actually put a screw in mine right where the peg is, because once you drill your hole and put that peg in there, that cheap plastic will come off. I actually did it on this one as well as the other one, so that's one thing you have to look for. It'll keep it in place. It won't move, slide, and do all that type of mess. But anyway, as you can see, I still got both my gear shifts on, both my brakes, clutch, everything works. And I actually did get two at the same time just for that specific reason, because I knew some parts would fit and some parts wouldn't, and I didn't want to take the time to have to sit there and order other parts and wait on those specific parts like a muffler or whatever. But anyway, to the brass tacks, as they say on the internet, the sprocket you can flip or leave one way. I would suggest doing it both ways to see which way gives you the best alignment with the motor. And there's some people that say, oh, this chain tension that comes with the kit is cheap. It's cheap, but if you get it on there tight enough, and I don't know if you can see that, but actually right there I had to scrape away a little of the paint, because this bike I got was it was brand new actually back in June when I got it, and that paint on there was so glossy that it didn't create a good enough grip for that galvanized steel or whatever that is made for that chain tensioner, so it would slip or it would ride around the bar back and forth. And I actually damaged two rims before I even got both of these together, and as you can see, they're back there behind that bike. But anyway, the sprocket alignment on the back part, most of the new bikes you'll get will fit right around that back hole. Okay, very little spacing in between. But yeah, the chain tensioner works. It's all about getting it on there right in the right place and making sure it doesn't slip, and keeping it tight. Chain was easy to do. And on this one, actually, if you zoom in here, you can see this manifold I recently got, because the other one I didn't have enough space between this top bar and the engine to put that carburetor in there like this one I got over here, which went right in there. So I got this nice little thing here, where if I could get a nice little shot, if you can see it, let me zoom out here. That little manifold, it's a offset manifold. It has a carburetor sitting right offside the bike, and it doesn't get in the way as you pedal, so it's really cool. I've actually seen guys bring it out and have it sitting facing that way, with a little copper corner that they put in the original intake. You just sit the carburetor sideways, which works, and actually you can see this carburetor sits on an extreme tilt, but you know, this one actually has way better acceleration than that one, and I think it might be greatly dedicated to that. This sprocket is a 44-2 sprocket, and the sprocket over here is a 42 sprocket. This one has way more acceleration than this one, but they still basically have the same top speed, but I can get around cars on this one. And also on this one, as I go from the sprocket to the chain tensioner, I move up here to the mounting area. I'll zoom in here, and as you can see, this engine is not sitting directly on this frame. I actually had to get a specific mounting bracket. Get up closer here so you can see it. From, of course, sickbikeparts.com, which this is the large bracket, the 2-inch by 2 or 1.9 inch, and actually the hose for the motor, I actually had to open up a little bit for them to slip right in, because they weren't slipping in. One was not enough on each side, and those screws, and getting closer, you can see those scratch marks. I actually had to cut those mounting screws down about 4 to 5 threads down, so it wouldn't, those screws mounts wouldn't sit on my frame. And as you can see there, I have scratches from trying to mount it and get the perfect sitting of this engine. But as you can see, after I did that, it goes on great. A few tips for mounting. If you come back here and look, if I can get it, probably not on this angle, but if you can see over here, back out, that's a head bolt, and then the other one is there. To best line this up, if you can get those head bolts lined up between the center pipe, you'll basically have your alignment of your drive sprocket with your back sprocket. Once again, you might want to flip this outward or inward, and actually on this one it's flipped inward, as you can see, and the chain is extremely close to these sprockets here, these spokes, but it's okay, it doesn't affect it in any way. But on that other bike over there, it's actually turned the other way, which gave me, for that frame, it gave me the best clearance turning it outwards, and for this bike the best clearance was turning it inwards. And from my experience just with these two bikes in the last few months, is that each bike is going to be specific mounting. So this bike has that, of course, bracket there, and this bike actually has the one that came with the kit with just a simple mounting plate with the hole through it, and I'll zoom in. See that bolt down there at the big bolt at the top of the muffler? Well, that's actually a mounting bolt that goes through the frame, and that's how I mounted that engine. Like I said, I got these kits, and I didn't really need anything else other than the two little parts on here, that mounting bracket and that intake manifold offset. But everything else went on as just like they say in the kit, and they work great. I'm still running a 16:1 ratio, fuel ratio on these engines. A few little tips though, like they say on the internet, get you a high performance spark plug wire. n.g.k, I believe, is where I got it. Or you can check around eBay, anywhere they got them. And I got the upgraded spark plugs. I believe they're n.g.k B7MA or something like that. And the one on this one is the shorter one for the clearance. As you can see, it has a slanted head on it, and the head was actually turned the other way, and I turned it around because I barely got it in there, but hey, it's in there and it works. This bike I've been riding consistent for the past month. This bike I've been riding consistent for the past 2 months, so it actually has about 500 something miles on it, and this one maybe have 100, it's almost 200. But of course on here, like I said, I also got the upgraded spark plug, and you can see here it says, what does that say? B7HS actually is what it says. I can't really. B7HS is what it says, n.g.k, and you can get those off of course bikeparts.com, as well as the upgraded. And what it is that in the original kit they tell you to take off the cap of the spark plug, which is okay, because those wires that the kit comes with won't fit around that cap. It's actually smaller, and these the new ones, the upgraded ones, or the high performance ones, actually comes with a cap inside that fits around the whole cap that's actually on the spark plug, so you don't have to take it off or damage the spark plug trying to take it off, as I did. But anyway, it gives a nice consistent spark, nice blue spark. And these, I live in the south, so the ones I got were 80 to 100 degrees humid. They work best in that temperature range, which in where I live it's very humid year round, so that's why I got those. But anyway, all in all, hey, everything it come with, it worked with. The chain, it came with the chain. CDI, it came with that. I got some gear oil actually to put some on my gears when I first started, just to make sure they were lubed up properly. I did it on both. That way when I started riding, you know, just a natural flow of things. And that's about it. Here, I'll try to start this one here for you. Let's see how it. Oh, also on this one, I went ahead and got some upgraded fuel spigots or pit cots, whatever you want to call them. This is one. It has a nice one way on, one way off type situation. And actually, I've went through a few filters. You could basically use any filter as long as you get it on there and have it turn the right way. You know, it's a fuel filter. It filters your fuel. What difference does it make how big or how small it is? So let's try to start this bad boy up here. Let's see where we're at. Something I did want to do is drop my phone.